Good evening and welcome to the Orleans Hotel and Casino and the National Finals Tonight Show. Brought to you in part by Cinch, Preferred, Dewshine, Cactus Saddles, Ram, Montana Silversmiths, Budweiser, 14 Hands and H3 Wines, Crown Royal, Absolute, Bullet Bourbon, JP Weisers, Big Tex Trailers, Cal Ranch, LG, Weaver Leather, Boot Barn, Resist All Hats, Rodeo Historical Society, Ecolab, Pilot Flying J, American Cowboy. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Oh, what a good-looking crowd. Hi, everybody. How you doing tonight? Welcome. We are so glad to have you here with us on National Finals tonight. This is our 9th season of doing this show. This is the 92nd edition that we have done of National Finals tonight, and we are glad to have you here with us. We hope you sit back and relax in our brand new home here in the Orleans. How many went to the rodeo tonight? Very many of you out there? Isn't it good? Is there anybody here, it's your very first time to Las Vegas? Anybody? No kidding. Wow. Now, where are you from back here, these two ladies? Where? Wade Sundell country, huh? Your very first time to Las Vegas. Oh, do we have people to introduce you to? We're just glad that you're here. Let's get this show started tonight. We'll bring out our two stars here this evening, both of them 8-time world champions. Let's start off with my buddy of over 30 years. Would you welcome Mr. Donnie Gay is here tonight. Donnie.
All right, good evening.
You brought
Say
it
anything about, who picked that music? All right.
He's bad to the bone. That's your theme song, isn't it?
Both hands. Okay, never mind.
I hope you're feeling good. You ate enough back there for the 101st
I'm
Airborne.
starving.
Doesn't he look good, though, huh? Yeah, especially for his age. He looks good, by golly. It was good. You know, tonight,
Love
Donnie,
you,
maybe more than any other night. Wouldn't it be nice to be a bull rider tonight, huh?
Oh, my God.
Wow. We'll talk more about...
My little buddy, Clayton Foltine, I mean, I got him riding steers in our arena when he was like 7. You know, he rides one of my daddy's bulls, 8 seconds. He wins $85,000. That's more money than I won in 2 of my biggest years, the entire seasons, and both NFRs. I still didn't win $85,000.
Unbelievable, isn't it, huh?
Gee.
Let's get our partner out here. He also, as I mentioned, is an 8-time world champion and just an all-around good guy. Our buddy Joe Beaver is here. Would you welcome Joe
Big
Beaver
Joe.
tonight? He's got gifts. There they are.
I'll let you know Clayton Foltine had one on tonight. I don't know if it's lucky or what, but there you go. Oops, one made it, one didn't. That's
You
why I
know,
wrote right-handed.
I was just trying to make sure what he was, you know, he used to throw out, you know, candy and stuff and try to get them to follow to the trailers.
Yeah, that was it. I had a trailer to follow too, and instead of that wagon, you had them coming too.
Joe, as you're throwing those out, tell the folks what these are for.
We started at the Indian Rodeo Indian Finals right over here in November. We started a diabetes awareness fund for kids. You know, it's a big deal on the reservations. Diabetes is a big culprit. So we started a program about 3 years ago, started selling T-shirts, raised $10,000. We gave them the $10,000 and the idea, and they're running with it, and it's going good for the Indian Rodeo.
Give Joe a hand. You know, over the years, Joe, I don't know how much money you have raised for charities, but
we've
it's
talked
phenomenal.
about before, you and I. You know, my agent told me years ago, he said, hey, this is a take business. You're always wanting. He said, you got to figure out some way to give back. And he just kind of made a mark on me. That was about 95 or 6, and I just, you know, you want so much out of life, but you got to give back to get it. So, you know, less fortunate need help.
This guy does it. Give him a hand, Joe Beaver. We are glad to have you here. As the evening goes along, if you have a question, we already have some coming in already.
We got a good question.
If you have a question that you would like to send up here to us, and we know what questions are going to be coming during this NFR, here's the number. You can text those questions to us. It's 702-983-0638. 702-983-0638.
Dan, if you don't get to this question, he's going to pull a growing.
I like it when I know the answer.
He's already got people. He couldn't only stand it backstage. 85,000, one bull. He's stretching. He's kind of, and then this question comes up. Dan, you're going to hurt the man. Let him talk.
We also want to tell you this is going out, and I looked at the show today from last night on YouTube on the Boyd Gaming channel, and it is just outstanding. Looks great, and if you get a chance and would like to see yourself on television or see yourself on the internet,
yeah, it's always a lot of fun.
It's always a good time. Donnie, we've got a question right now. Now, I don't know who sent this in, but probably your wife, just agitating right here with you already. This says, Donnie, in your prime, so it's been a while, in your prime, could you ride the bulls that are being bucked these days? Oh, we got another one coming up for Joe after this. So you start off, Donnie.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
If you wouldn't say yes, how do you think you got all them gold buckles, huh?
I mean, I'm not sure that there's not a few of them that I could ride now. So.
Yep.
I mean, the guy that wrote that song, I'm not as good as I used to be, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Hey, you know.
Hey, I'm going to tell you one thing.
Could you
That's close.
You knew that was coming. He don't never get that part right.
What's the name of that song? Could you sing a few bars?
Well, I can ride, buddy.
Oh, my. The answer is
Hey,
yes.
I will tell you this. He may not have rode one of them tonight, but his head would have been on the ground and his hands somewhere amongst that rope with only one qualified ride. If he'd have been the last three guys, we'd have had to pick him up with a scoop and a broom because he wouldn't have took no for an answer.
I agree. Joe, we have the same kind of a question following up for you. Jason, if you put that up there, just scroll down to that. This one for Joe. Joe, in your prime, do you think you could beat Tough Cooper in a match roping?
His daddy was damn hard to beat. I know that. We dueled a lot of times. 22
Same
years
word,
old.
absolutely.
There's not a doubt in my mind. I'd have bet every dollar I had. Every time I roped, I bet 30, 40, 50,000, and people thought it was crazy. But if I didn't think I could win, I wasn't going to show up that day.
Yep. Good questions, good answers. We knew those were coming. If you had a chance to watch any of the rodeo tonight on CBS Sportsnet, you saw these two doing their thing live, and the reason is they're the absolute best in the business at it. Donnie and I have been doing television together for 30-some years, and these two, not just the best color guys in rodeo, they're two of the best color guys in sports. So let's take a look at round number 2. We have a highlight package put together for you. They'll do it live. Donnie Gage.
All right, well, the bareback riding, we had 2 great pens of horses out. Stephen Peebles, he's the go-round winner. This was a great horse. They called him Beaver Fever, but you just watch the spur, and this guy right here, he's the only guy that I think could beat Mr. Field. But it takes the horses to fit the style of riding, but you can't ride a bucking horse any better than what he just riding this horse. You mark him whatever you want to. You mark the ride from 1 to 25. Have no idea what they did, but, that's a 23, 24-point ride. It's a great ride, Stephen Peebles.
All right, and I reminded Donnie that was my tattoo guy. In the steer wrestling, Luke Branquino, if you're a steer wrestler, the thing you hate the most in the world is to see this right there. Because that means Luke Branquino is on a roll. He's winning first. That's not good if you're a steer wrestler. Luke makes a great run, throws him in 3-5. Hunter Cure, it was not that easy. You watch his baseball bat hit him right in the chest. Oh, right there. That did not feel good. And we know that because when he got up, he could not get any of the free air in the arena. Now watch his steer. He stops. That's not bad. But when he stops, he sticks his head over. He catches him right there between the rib cage, knocks all the wind out of him. He throws him down in 3, takes him 30 seconds to get out of the arena. In the team roping, I said before they rope, Derek Begay has the champ behind him. He missed the first night. Look out. Watch the champ right there. You think that isn't a shot? And he just heels him by 2 feet. Derek Begay, one swing over the chute. Now watch the champ. When he heals him, he takes a dally and he just rears back on it and brings that steer back to him. Watch that right hand come back to me. 3-9, wins the day money. Derek Begay says, if I catch him, I know we'll win.
All right, saddle bronc riding, Coburn Bradshaw. This kid, he comes in, this is a rodeo and bronc riding family, and everybody's getting the money, getting in on the action. This horse, Curly Bill, makes a circle. The Eliminators were out in the saddle bronc riding. They weren't the best looking bucking horses, but they are the hardest to ride in the pen. These guys bucked a lot of guys off. Coburn makes a good ride. It helps whenever you draw a bucking horse that it will at least keep moving forward where you have a chance to straighten those legs. That's what the judge is looking for, and the last 2 jumps are critical.
In the tie-down roping, traveling partners. Hunter Heron, he goes first. Good start. These kids a lot stronger tonight. Ran harder, a little bigger. He catches him coming off the ground. Perfect timing. 2 wraps in the hui. Thinks he's got the day money won. The thing Hunter Heron is so tough about is watch his range with his rope. See how he reaches out there? That was the horse of the year last year. There's a reason. That is a great equine partner. Now right here, he catches him just as soon as he can flank him coming up off the ground. Really was just a little bit close right there, but I'll try it every day. He's 7-5. He's winning the day money. Now, my boy Marty Yates comes back. Honestly, the best run made this week. This calf did not really want to play. Watch him right there. See when he hits his legs spread? If Marty rushes the legs right there, he has to tie one leg at a time, but we worked on flanking and tying for about 2 weeks. Watch the technique. Watch his hamstring on the hip, and he rolls the legs in there. This calf wants to kick. Instead, he's 7-5. He splits the day money with his traveling partner, Hunter Heron. That kid's for real. In the barrel race, hey, I want y'all to watch this second barrel. You know when a horse is really working. Nice first barrel. Picks her leg up. Looks like it's easy. Right here. Whoa, almost. Up over the dashboard, Donnie, but she sat back down.
She sat right back down coming in the home stretch. But, I mean, Michelle McLeod has always been tough in Las Vegas. Her horse
that horse, when he's right, she's right.
In the bull riding, 1 out of 15. It only took 1. Clayton Foltine. Yeah, did I remind you, he is from Texas, and it's a Texas bull. Bull had a nice day. Good job, Rafter G, sending one out here that somebody could make the 8 second. $85,000 for Clayton Foltine. It is a good thing that boy quit drinking. Holy cow. But a nice rider. I want to tell you something. Whenever you know, all you got to do is make the whistle. Just stay on. Doesn't care what you look like. That's maybe the hardest thing to do. It's kind of like putting in golf. All you have to do is just make that one putt. Well, it's easy to miss, and it's easy to buck off at this level with all this money out here.
That was impressive because $85,000, all of a sudden he has a chance to have a $150,000 week, just a normal week.
And that's great for a bull rider who is getting ready to hang it up and go to work for a living, because you don't win enough money to retire. So he's going to have to figure out what he's going to do. He's got a good start on it this week, buddy.
Good job by Joe and Donnie doing that live for you. Nice job, men. We've got another question that came in here. Either one of you, Donnie, why do the pickup men change horses during the event?
Well, you have to be able to stay right on top of things, and at most rodeos, most of the time, you have about 10 outs at most rodeos all during the year. Well, so you come here to the national finals and you got 15 out. If you get a re-ride, you got 16, 17. Well, they're going to switch after about 8 horses. They got all lined up in the alley back there, and it's just to keep your horses fresh, to be able to go out and catch any and everything, because you got the best pickup men and the best horse flesh in the business.
All right. Let's, and we see this question that's come up here, and we're just going to hold off on this question. I want to get our first guest out here, and Joe, during that, you can decide if we want to bring that up when he's out here, or we can wait till later.
What, you got a question about the ERA?
Yeah, thanks, Donnie.
Ooh. Okay.
That's that real estate company. Let's get this first gentleman out here. There is no event in this rodeo that's more wide open still than the steer wrestling. Right. And this guy is right in the middle of it. He's an all-around cowboy. He's at his second big show here. Donnie's neighbor in Terrell, Texas. Clayton Hass is in the house. Would you give him a hand? Clayton?
Welcome.
Not only a steer wrestler, the world leader coming into the finals.
Yes.
And horse of the year last year. And we were just talking about it. He said, you know, some of those guys are about my age and they've been at it a long time. I'm just getting started. Longevity in his career is going to be told by starting late, good horses, leaders coming in, the real deal.
And you are the real deal. You're an all-around guy as well, Clayton. And besides being Donnie, and I should say this first, because Clayton got all that money, who pulled his rope tonight?
I pulled his rope tonight.
You know, and he's big enough to go ahead and get a little percentage.
Yeah, he rides with one of them Brazilian ropes. And I mean, it was all I had to get it pulled tight enough.
Well, if it's all he had to get it, Donnie, you don't need to touch it.
I
Stay
ain't
back.
touching it.
Clayton, let's talk a little bit about this steer wrestling. As I mentioned, I looked through your stats today. You won a lot of all-around titles this year as well at different rodeos around the country. But this steer wrestling here is wide open. Talk about your feeling coming in. This is your second NFR. Talk about being here.
I felt real comfortable. I get to ride a great horse owned by Mark Wallace, and he's took me for a lot of championships this year at different rodeos, and I got a lot of confidence on him. I know if I back in there and do my job that he's going to allow me to win.
And is steer wrestling, you're a team roper, you're all-around cowboy, steer wrestling is still your favorite? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I love steer wrestling. I enjoy roping calves a lot, team roping, but in the bulldogging, it's me and the animal, and I get to do my job, and if I make a mistake, it's my fault.
I think, Joe, last night when we started this, there was $30,000 between first all the way down to 15.
It was, and we talked about on the telecast tonight, starting out, Clayton runs one steer and doesn't get a check, and he goes from first to fourth. That's how tight it is with the money. But the important thing is, and we all talk about the average, and Donnie and I say it doesn't matter until later on in the week, but you can't stand mistakes like a no time or a double jump or too long a broke barrier. You get the first 2 or 3 thrown down. In the timed events, our reruns start on the 4th go-around. That's when you'll see the guys have plans for the cow that they draw and the steer wrestling calf, whatever. You know what you have then, and we talked about tonight, his steer really split the gates and run, but you can't take a chance too much in the first 3 rounds because you don't know for sure what's going to happen. In the reruns, they come back, you get 3 down, you place maybe tomorrow night, win a round, then you're back in good shape for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I mean, 10 nights, it's a long week. Guys can draw bad steers and make mistakes, and we start drawing on the right end of them and have a game plan and win money. It can turn things around in a hurry.
You're right in the middle of the average as well. Let's take a look at you at work tonight. Let's start with that one first. Joe and Clayton, you guys can take a look at it.
Yeah,
this is a 4-second run.
You'll see what we're talking about. This steer split the gates running. Okay, well, he's running so hard that Riley Duval thinks, I'm going to get up there and help him shut this steer down. And all of a sudden, this steer he lets up and checks out. In other words, tries to get behind the Hazen horse, and I thought it was a great move to catch this steer.
Yeah, the steer split the gates and really run compared to some of the other ones. And Riley, he's trying to do a great job, and he's a great hazer, and he went to pick him up. And steer, instead of checking off, he lets off and tries to get up behind him, and got me a little bit strung out there, but we got him thrown down.
Here's the deal, though. A lesser guy and not a bigger, stronger guy, even if you catch this steer, people, his feet are not going to hit where he wants them because the momentum of this steer all of a sudden is going this way. So Clayton has to reach all he can to catch him, and watch what he does with his feet. Right here, okay, watch this steer. See how he goes behind the horse's tail? His feet don't hit in the right spot, but he's so strong and catty, he gets his legs back under him, gets that steer turned, and still makes a great run. That keeps you in the bulldogging.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm as catty as I used to be.
I don't know. I've known you a long time. You're pretty catty for a big guy.
We're on stage.
Wait a minute, Donnie's stockbroker's calling.
He just wants everybody to know he finally got away from a flip phone. That's the only reason he answered it. He's got his flip phone put up.
Clayton wants to let everybody know he's got a place to go with the money. This is Clayton Foltine. But now your rope puller, he said the percentage went to 25. Oh, he's laughing.
Tell him Clayton isn't.
Okay, well, Clayton's not laughing, and he said he'll speak with you about it tomorrow before the bull riding. I'll see you later.
Anything else you need to do? Is that
No,
it? All right, just checking on
He's so happy he doesn't have his flip phone. He wants
25%.
Hey, that phone's almost as big as he is.
Ow.
That's from your neighbor right there.
Down a damn street.
I have to tell you, we were coming, his wife comes up to me, she said, now remember, his last name is Hass. Hass, he's my neighbor. It rhymes with Donnie. But it's Hass.
Yeah, people don't understand it, so when I say it's ass with an H in front of it. It's Hass.
Last night, your run here, again, you had a good run last night, but the times I think you were 4-4 last night. If we've got that run back there, Colin, let's take a look at him from round one.
Well, I'll say that both of his steers have really left their running. You know, and Riley Duval, man, he just does a great job. Makes a good run. This steer hits. He's down the arena. When you run one that far, it's just hard. You're not going to be the threes, but you got to keep your feet right and your momentum because you got to have a flat fall right there.
Oh, yeah, that was a good steer to get the first round out of the way. I knew he was good and honest and left and run. He wasn't one of the steers I thought was fast handling, but not a bad draw for your first one here.
That's a perfect example to start too. If we got to watch it, I should have said something earlier. But watch when those steer wrestlers are sitting there holding their horse. The start in the steer wrestling is you watch them. They'll nod and they drop their hand. It's time to go right then. You can't have hesitation. Horse want to move. We saw it last night. A couple of horses. Watch this. Here's the start in the bulldog. See when he shoved him forward, his horse never moved until that time, and he kept running to get Clayton's feet on the ground. And that's going to be important later on in the week because these steers run.
Yeah, these steers are going to run, and horsepower is going to be a big factor the longer as the week goes on. Guys get out late and bounce some horses off the back end of the arena a couple times. It dang sure can make them pick their head up and not run as hard.
And it's hard for them to keep running into the big yellow fences. The other thing that we talk about, and you know, we say it on this show a lot, and we talk about, and all you people out there, we hardly even talk about it on TV anymore, is all around. Because Trevor's just so far out there, and he's got everybody booyah'd, and nobody even tries to beat him, you know, because he's so dominant in 3 events. But if there's going to be somebody step up, if he decides to give up an event or slow down a little bit or he decides to do something different, this guy right here, people, has the chance to step into those all-around shoes. To be honest with you, he's an NFR caliber header. And he ropes tie-down calves very well. And if he worked that a little bit and got busy again, you know, you sure make the finals in 2 events. And that's something to kind of look forward to, as with me and Ty Murray was, you know, and somebody, if you see that daylight, would it interest you to go that extra mile for that all-around?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's a goal of mine and dream to one day become an all-around champ. But you can ask Mr. Wallace over there that I need to work on getting that hooey because sometimes it ain't very good.
I said work on the calf roping. I said it in a nice way, but yeah, you're going to work your ass off in this calf roping to get right, okay?
So what would that do to figuring a budget, 3 horses, 4 horses instead of 1 main horse? Or
well, speaking of Mr. Wallace again, we're going to have to step out there and buy some good horses, okay?
Well, I mean, but just taking 3 horses on the trail. I mean, you know, if you don't have somebody else driving you, hauling other horses, you know, that 3 turns into 6, that turns into 9, and in different parts of the countries. I mean, it's going to be a huge hill to climb. It would look to me like.
Yeah, it's the best thing about it is the bulldog and the calf roping are usually pretty close. Slacks are together. The team roping makes it a little harder to work. But as far as horsepower and getting around, you dang sure got to rodeo smart and playing the rodeos out. And there's going to be times you miss some rodeos and you got to try to catch up somewhere along the year.
My solution was to have 1 head and everything, but they're not going to do that, I don't guess.
It's just about like when honestly, when I was Ty Murray, was it like Trevor to me? I mean, you weren't going to beat Ty Murray. He was dominant in 3 events, and I honestly would start the year off, and if I wasn't just dominating 2 and top 5 or 6, I'd back off 1 event. You know, I'd let 1 go because it wasn't feasible to go all year and do half okay in 1 event. The expense, the fees are double. You know, you got extra horse in your rig. People are out. You're buying all your fuel. It's a hard transition to make for sure when somebody like Trevor's out there in so dominant in 3 events, and he's got 2 rigs on the road, and as was Ty was dominant in 3 events, and you know when he would get at times when he got hurt, he'd be the first one I'd call, and I'd say, "Are you really hurt? Or are you just kind of taking a week off? Because I'm not gonna, you know." And the years he said, "Hey, I'm hurt," then I got busy, and that's kind of where Clayton is, I think, right now. Because you're right, Donnie, it's a huge difference. It's your innings different, your travel's different, your fees, your expenses, everything triples.
Then you have to change your thinking because winning at this level, it doesn't really have anything to do with X's and O's, and it all is right there. And so that's a huge investment in time, money, and the inner part that man, you go to trying to do something and then what if you can't do it? Those sort of things start cropping up, and it's a big
With
decision.
that said, you're dead on. And here's our deal. We've talked about it. If somebody doesn't step up and go to work in more events and getting to work at a rough stock, time events, wherever, we have no challenger for a Trevor Brazil. If they, well, somebody's going to have to step up because he can't do it forever. I mean, it's the one person that never loses and that never gets beat. Father Time catches us all. So, with that, it's neat to see a guy like Clayton out there that has that talent and has that ability to work more than one event and have it in the back of his mind just kind of turning and burning, waiting on that chance to pounce on it, and when he does, I think he'll be very successful.
There's some other guys out there. Shane Proctor.
There's a bunch.
Is a
yeah,
triple.
we've talked about it. They just, nobody wants to take that leap because you're swimming, in the ocean and he's over here in the baby pool.
Yep, I agree. I'm guessing, Joe, you want to hold off on this other deal for right. All right, okay. Clayton turns 32 next Wednesday. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Any birthday wishes in the back of your mind there?
I'd like to go to that South Point.
Not that we don't love having.
Well, I just got a phone call from there. That so he just followed that right on up. Yeah.
We will be following Clayton all the way there, and we hope you're going to the South Point as well. And we hope that there's a world title in this man's future shortly. Would you give him a hand?
Good
Clayton
cowboy.
Hass, great cowboy, and Donnie and Terry's neighbor. Very nice. Come on down, gentlemen. Last night we touched on that at the award banquet the other night, Frontier won the Stock Contractor of the Year. And Jerry Nelson was here last night. Tonight, Donnie, a lot of the crew, a lot of the guys that make it work are here. Even so, if you'll introduce the guys.
I would like for all of the people that work with Frontier Rodeo, Heath Stewart, Shay, his wife, y'all all, Rex, everybody, y'all stand up. A round of applause for the Frontier Rodeo
right
crew,
there,
Stock
yes.
Contracting Firm of the Year. And all good friends of mine. Too Tall, stand up. You get part of that. Come on.
Outstanding.
The rodeo business is, it's a lot like family because, you spend an awful lot of time together and do an awful lot of work. When you put on a cowboy hat, you actually are going to always do way more work than you're going to get paid for, so you best like it. And that's the best crew. I've been around rodeos my entire life. And working at Frontier, I love my family to death, and I live next door to them. But this crew right here, they make you want to go out there. I don't care if the mud's knee deep. I'm proud of them.
All right, now, Heath, I'm going to remember that next time I go somewhere and it's muddy and raining and he ain't dirty and all y'all are muddy and wet. I want to remind him of that. You said you want to get out in the mud with your family. Go on.
I will.
And Donnie, I want you to tell. Last night, Justin Rumford was here, and it's always wild when he's here. But he had a serious note in the back, and he wanted to tell this story about Jerry Nelson. Do you want to tell that? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jerry has been in the rodeo business since 1997, and he's gotten a lot of comments, a lot of good ones, a lot of funny ones, a lot of bad ones. But he's the most interesting man that I know. We had Justin Rumford hired for an event, and he loads up his barrel because Justin, I mean, he's worked, come from a rodeo family, has got a CDL, hauled a load of livestock down to the rodeo when he was a Champions Challenge, and it got canceled. I mean, it was raining sideways, and it was a lake down there, just flooded it out completely. So everybody just turned around and went home. And Jerry Nelson talking to him, and Justin's going to go to the house, and barrel man at Champions Challenge Rodeo, it gets paid pretty well, and Jerry paid him, gave him his check for the rodeo, and he said, "Well, Mr. Nelson," he said, "the rodeo was canceled. I don't deserve a check." And he goes, "You hired on, you came down here." He said, "Give him his check." That's the kind of guy that Jerry Nelson is, and that's what Justin wanted to talk about it. But Frontier Rodeo is going to be around a while. Yeah.
Well said, Donnie. We're glad you guys are all here. Thanks for coming tonight from Frontier Rodeo. I'm going to, Joe, just take a look at this question. I'm not sure what. Go ahead.
It says, did the bull loggers get to run practice steers like the team ropers? Not in the Thomas and Mack. The bull loggers are kind of unique. They send the set of steers. Luke Branquino had 2 sets out there at his house, and I bet 7 or 8 of the top 15 go to Luke's house right after Thanksgiving, and they start out with 75 or 80 steers, 2 stock contracts, and they cut down to get their 2 sets. 1 set came out of Utah. Nobody wanted to go to Utah and run these steers in November, but a couple people did. But at the Thomas and Mack, what they do is they run them through the chute, and they throw them out of the chute on the ground, and then they chase them out of the chute so they know where the back end is. Did they get to practice on them? Yes and no. Not off the horse, but there again, you don't get very many volunteers wanting to run a bulldogging steer before the national finals because nobody wants to get hurt. So these steers have been to many rodeos. They're patterned. They tune on them. They get them right. They bring them here, throw them down out of the chute, run them out of the bucket chute, run them through the chute. So they're just like being at the rodeo and been practiced on. They know them. They're prepared. They're ready.
Good question, good answer, Joe. Let's get our next guest out here. This young man, boy, youth is a wonderful thing, isn't it? I don't think he weighs 130 pounds soaking wet, but he is a good young man. We're glad he's here. Bull rider extraordinaire Brett Stahl is with us here tonight. Brett, welcome, sir.
Come on out here.
Give this young man a hand. Welcome. Come on over here and sit next to Joe.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Detroit Lakes, Minnesota.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love that. Yeah. Have no idea where it's at, but it just sounds good.
Let's solve that right now. Where is Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, Brett?
It's about 45 miles east of Fargo, North Dakota.
God's country.
Yeah. Way up there in the cold country.
Yeah. I actually had people come to Cody this summer that said, we live there. We buy hay from, or they had a connection with you up there. This NFR, this is the second, it's been 3 years since, is that right? 2012 you were here at the NFR.
2012.
And this is his first time back. And boy, it's been kind of a rough start so far. And talk about it, Brett.
Oh, it's just been a speed bump, you know. I mean, just like the rodeo trail is every now and again.
Okay, he was here in 2012, but now, you know, there's some extra that's back here in 2015 that wasn't here in 2012. Like, was it one hip or both?
It was just the left hip.
Just the left hip is new. It hadn't been here before yet, so. Okay, I'm just checking.
I want to tell you, at Cody this summer, Brett won Cody, the bull riding up there, and just an incredible ride up there, Donnie.
It was a lot of fun because we'd talked for the rodeo, and he said, you know, he really liked the bull that he had drawn, and I said, hey, you know, it's time for you to quit, you know, having so much fun just being here. I said, it's time to start kicking butt and taking names, and that's what he's been doing since then. I mean, he was like 90 points or whatever. You know, he can do something, but
let's take a look at tonight.
Tonight, I went down to the sports medicine room. You know, I mean, about 30 minutes after the performance is over, the bull riders are in there. Some of them are, and well, he's not in the room. And I thought, well, I wonder if he's still going to come to the show tonight. And so I go down to the medical ward, and he's got an ice pack down the back of his collar and that he's holding like this, you know, that's hanging in the middle of his back. He has another one down his pants. I didn't want to look that far, but he was, you know, and he's limping back, and he's going, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I said, well, you don't have to. And he said, no. He said, I'm coming. And I said, okay.
This is on a bull called Maverick from round 2 here. Brett, if you and Donnie take a look at it.
I've never seen a bull turn back any harder than this right here. Check this out. Doesn't he look cool?
From what view?
Wow.
He's looking different eyes than you are, isn't he, Brett?
Okay, let's watch that again. Look at this turn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No.
He didn't know. They said, well, you're going to jump out there and go to the right. I'm sitting there, I'm going, that's like saying that you're going to get in the ring and box a little with Muhammad Ali, you know. So what I liked, when he's hanging up, if you can play that out on the rec scene, just whenever he's hung up, you know, his feet aren't touching the ground, but when they do, he keeps moving. He doesn't ever drag underneath. He never lets that bull step on him. He knows the bullfighters where they're going to be. That's a veteran move from a young guy that learned how to ride bulls somehow in Minnesota. But I'll take him in Texas anywhere he wants to go, because this bull right here is ranked. You're going to get throwed off a few bulls at the NFR. But you got great bullfighters out there. Watch them get the tail of his bull rope. And I'm not sure which one. Is this Webster or Aaron Ferguson that gets the tail of the rope? I can't. Okay, here goes Webster.
Yeah, Webster.
Yeah, it's Webster. Cody Webster gets the tail of the rope. And, so those guys, I mean, they're laying it out there. But what's your take on the first two performances of the bulls and the bull riding? What you've seen of it? What do you feel right now?
I feel like I got to step my game up a little more. Old Whitney did his homework when he put a pen of bulls together, but, I mean, we all come here for a reason. We just got to realize, well, do the same thing you did all year to get here. It's just another rodeo. Just go have fun. And
wait a minute. It's just another rodeo, but Foltine just called me from the South Point. My God.
I'd like to be on his end right now.
Well, you got 8 more chances to do that. You know that, don't you? I mean, that's what's fun. 8 times.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even
Don't
want to
hurt
Thank you
yourself.
very much.
Just say 200,000. Everybody will buy it.
Brett, talk about the difference coming here this time, the second time in, as opposed to the first time you came here.
I mean, spending a few years off, it doesn't change much. I mean, you still get them jitters, them sparks that fly from your toes to your ears when you ride down that arena on the flag horse even. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, you just got to take it all in and just have fun and just go to it and ride bulls the way you do.
Just have fun. Turn that back on.
No,
Wait,
no.
Donnie, let's
Clayton Foltine's having a hell of a lot more fun tonight than that.
That's the kind of fun we should be having.
Last night in round 1, you had a bull called Half Nuts, and we've got that one racked up so that you and Donnie can talk about that one as well. And they're just getting that one lined up out there for us as well.
Now, this is a Pete Carr bull, isn't it? The Half Nuts bull, the one you had the first night?
Yeah, he's Pete's. I've seen him quite a few times all year, and I think he ended up 3rd for Bull of the Year this year. And so I knew he had a pedigree to him that he was supposed to be here, just like the rest of us. But he handled me too.
Donnie, while they're getting this racked up here, Brett mentioned the fact that they'd put together a great pen of bulls. Who is responsible for that here?
Cody Whitney is the new bull riding director now. Fred Betcher still represents the bull riders with a vote on the board of directors, but Cody Whitney actually works directly with the bull riders, sets up the pens. The bull riders pick the bulls. They get them to about 120. You bring 100 bulls to the finals. You cut them down and set up the pens. And Cody's doing an extremely good job, I think.
Let's take a look at Half Nuts here with Brett from round number 1. Go ahead, guys.
I really thought this was one of the best bulls. There's Bucking Bull of the Year is out in that performance. There was last year's Bucking Bull of the Year was out in tonight's performance. They were split, but like that bull and the one you had tonight, both of those bulls. Now, you might have made them look maybe a hair better than they are all the time. But I thought that
was coming.
There's 8 more. Don't
But
listen
you know-
to him. Don't pay attention.
That's really not meant to be ugly or a slight at all.
Wait.
Look
He knows
look
you.
at that son of a gun buck. I mean, I don't care who you are or where you've
He's
been.
had
or how
two
many,
juicy
two
fruits to get on.
ranked dadgum bulls. The bulls are going to be this way all week long. Looks like.
Yeah, that's. But when you come to this level, that's what you expect, and you work your butt off all year to get here, and them bulls did too.
Now this bull, he was on the list in the vote for Bucking Bull of the Year also, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. The Bull of Groundies won first, and I think this bull won second.
Yep.
Well, Brett, I'm looking at his buckle here from the 2012 NFR, and we're looking for a gold buckle on that one as well coming up very soon. We're glad you came out tonight because I know you're hurting and you know you're sore, and we wish you the best the next 8 rounds, no matter what the math is there. But would you give this young man a hand for us here?
I
Brett
appreciate
Stahl.
it. Thank you.
Bull riding is going to wind up being a game of attrition. You've seen bulls your whole life, and there's not even bulls that I don't care what record that they had, none of them bucked any harder than the two he just got off of. But how'd you like to be Chandler Bounds? He had the Bucking Bull of the Year last night, and then last year's Bucking Bull of the Year tonight. You know. So.
But you know what I liked about what he said about all that? That's what you expect when you get here. He didn't say, "Oh man, I was on the juicy end." He said, "That's what I expect. I expect to ride them too," and that's a winner's attitude. You know, the other kind of attitude you have is a loser, and a loser makes excuses for stuff like that. Kid never walked away from it at all. He said, "Man, that's how they're supposed to buck."
You just own it, and I think the guy that rides. Probably the average winner maybe rides 7 out of 10, but I think it's going to be 6 out of 10 at the most. So these guys, it's anybody's ball game.
The only problem I'd have had about that bull tonight is the guy that said he's going to turn back out of the chute. I'd find him and slap him because that's not turning back. That's an immediate circle right there. Boom. That's like a roller coaster gone mad right there. You know.
Guys, let's bring out another member of our team here. Joe is going to be competing next week, and there's big doings going on tomorrow at the Gold Coast. This gentleman coming out, and I use the word gentleman lightly, he will tell us about both of those things. Bob Tallman is here. Bob, come on out and talk with us, Robert.
Gentleman, Bob.
Give that
Tallman.
guy a hand, will you, Bob Tallman? Welcome, sir.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Donald.
Come on out, Dad.
See you.
Buddy. Have a seat. Tell us what you know.
Best thing I know about you is your wife is here. And
it's a good thing I didn't win 85,000 when I was Clayton Folteen's age. Still, I didn't have the sense to keep it.
Been sitting up there last night. I sat up there again tonight, and I've been spewing my worth, my wisdom, my ideas, my take on everything for 43 years. You remember the first time we met?
Do I have to?
No. You remember the first time we met? I think about things first time we met.
I spent a week.
Wasn't it
one
Watsonville,
night with him.
California?
I ain't old, I'm just ready. And I've had a card 41 years. I've been doing this 43 years. And I come from a little town called Winnemucca, Nevada. And when I was a kid, I wanted to be Dean Oliver, Jim Bob Altizer. Then I wanted to be Larry Mahan. Then I wanted to be. And all I want to be tonight and tomorrow night, next year, the next year, is me living with all what we've done. And I want you all to know something. I sit up there, and how long we've been doing this? Boyd and I did it for a long time under a different deal before we all started this format. I learned something last night and last year, and I learned something tonight. And we're nuts. We're absolutely nuts because we're infected with a bull's ear, a calf's tail, a horse's move, Clayton's feet, $85,000.
Oh, God.
And I remember last night, I heard you said you came here and won $349 went around. First time, 1972, I ever went packing flanks for Bob Cook and taping Clyde Van Voris and making Marty Wood wine, and they paid me $15 a day. I worked for Buster Ivory, Oklahoma City. And we go to Yukon, go to that bucking horse sale, snow blowing sideways, 10 degrees above zero. And these guys would go get on them, bucking horses and bulls, 6 or 8 in the afternoon. And then, I don't know if we changed clothes or whatever we did.
We changed clothes because Pete and I and Marvin had to go ride that night.
And they'd get on and go that night. And his daddy, if he caught any one of them three or me with a bad attitude, you got to butt chewing. And if you said anything back, you got to butt whooping. And what I've learned in the last 2 nights is this. You guys are not experts. You're above that level. And you are the greatest instigator to get more out of them. And then you bring a kid like Brett Stahl. I just told him as he left here, I said, Brett, you got body parts that I know are going to hurt. I've had broke legs, hip transplant, all that kind of stuff. I'm so more proud of that kid sitting in this chair as a man, coming from every time Donnie and I were at the bull riding in Fort Worth, and it'll be him next, and I'll go, Donnie, it's your favorite hometown, but he won't even think. He just goes, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. He loves this. He's infected with it.
He did
So,
that.
all of these
couldn't believe
things.
he knew how to ride being from
What
there.
you all are doing here is you are filling a 10-pound sack with 40 pounds of lifestyle, memories, absolutes, and the integrity of who you are, what you've done. And I'll bring whatever I got to go with the deal. You people, we wondered how this was going to work in this big showroom. There's a lot of people out there. And I've been looking from the back down here. Chris Jabez, Jackie Ferrando, and all the Boyd Gaming people, they had some doubt. What are we going to do? We move all this over here. By the way, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, for those of you that are bowlers, even if you don't want to be a bowler, we have a silent auction and an auction. We raise money for Las Vegas, the charity of Las Vegas Raceways and the Justin Cowboys Crisis Fund, and we're doing it at the Gold Coast Hotel, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Come on. Even if you don't buy anything, come and be a part of the entourage. We do have some fun. We'll 70 lanes over there, and we'll have 50, 60 of them full. We've got the Calgary Stampede with 4 teams. They practiced today. We got people coming over there with their own bowling shirts. They crippled a guy today in practice, but they crippled him. 6'6", he weighs about 210 pounds, skinny's the deal. They thought he broke his hip practicing for the bowling tournament
Hell, Brett
tomorrow.
Stahl will come in there and sub for him.
So what y'all are getting to see and watch here is a part of a lifestyle. It is so bigger than anything else. But we gather it every year. And I think back of all the years, in those days, Buster Ivory, $15 a day. And all we did was we sorted at 5 in the morning and fed. Then we went to bed, because most of the nights we stayed up till 5 in the morning, making Marty Wood wine at the Round Holiday Inn in Oklahoma City.
Practicing our singing.
Practicing our singing.
Bob, let me your partner in crime, Boyd Polhamus, has just showed up. Let me get
Awesome.
Boyd out here as well. Give Boyd a hand, will you, Boyd Polhamus?
We got another chair here, don't we?
We got another chair coming out.
Don't pay the ransom, I escape.
How are you?
Good. How
Well,
are you?
there's a chair right over
Hi,
there.
Donnie. How are you, sir?
How bud?
What kind of klutz Canadian throws out his hip bowling?
A drunk one?
I mean, seriously.
Oh, they were.
You can't tell that to anybody. Oh, man.
It was
shit,
all
I
right,
was
man.
bowling yesterday.
It was 2 o'clock
it was
this
good
afternoon.
until I started bowling.
Is it 2 o'clock this afternoon? They'd been drinking.
Yeah, well, why don't you tell them a story about when the Chuck Wagon racers used to come to the Houston Astrodome?
Oh, my God.
It's Tallman. Sit down, people. He gets drunk, okay? And the only people drunker than him are the Canadian Chuck Wagon drivers.
Drinking peach schnapps.
And it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you decide to do?
We turned the lights on in the Houston Astrodome and got all them Chuck Wagon ponies out there, and all we had was gate ropes. So we used 2 gate ropes, one to tie yourself on with and flank them with the other, and we loaded them into bucket chutes. All the lights on. We had our own set of cops that were the night watchmen, and we had us a rodeo. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, some real cops showed up, and they took our ropes away from us. And we didn't share our peach schnapps with them snobby cops. And we put our ponies away, lost our ropes, and turned the lights off and went to a party.
I want to talk about last night. If you weren't here with us last night, we talked about a great event coming up next week. I want to touch on that just a little bit each night so that folks have the opportunity. I mentioned Joe's going to be competing in this. Boyd very eloquently last night.
Have you noticed how nice he's been to whenever you're watching one of the team ropers in the heading end of this deal? He's been really Boyd. I mean, not critical at all. He's thinking they're just roping the lights out.
They've had 14 headers volunteer do the commentating over here at the rodeo.
Hey, somebody asked me. I told them. I said when I saw you tonight, I'd ask you, why aren't you behind the chutes this year?
I'm in the same spot right down beside.
Okay, well, evidently they're not seeing
that's
you.
as close as I can get and still be without hitting distance.
Okay.
Before we start this rodeo Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week, which you will be a featured invite team, anytime champion of the world, I just want to ask you one question in public, and I'd like to be politically correct. If you miss, like you have a couple of times in the last 25 years, if you miss, are you going to be as pissy over here as you are out there?
As my friend Dexter Grace always says, I was in it to win it. You damn right.
Tell them the story about the time you bought the horse from Doug Clark. No. Come on, you dog. You will not tell that story? No. Okay.
You're getting people's names involved here. You're getting me in trouble on that end. It's like Tallman.
What about you and Roy Burke putting that white horse in the elevator that night?
That was not me.
It was to
No,
you.
It was not. That was Marshall Bracken. And Roy told him to treat this horse like you would treat yourself. And we got on the plane and we flew to the party at Northside, and they were in New Orleans, and they put the horse in the freight elevator and took him up to the hotel room and boarded up shit. And the next year when I got to rodeoing, Clay Tom, all he kept telling me is, don't check the horse in. A horse in a hotel room does not go over good, I'll just tell you.
Now, I want you to know Donnie Gay has never done anything like this. Donnie Gay, actually...
Liar alert.
Little Lord Fauntleroy. I've seen Donnie Gay wear some clothing that doesn't even have a relationship to his name in public, and that's all I'm going to say about that, but if you want to meet me out back, I've got pictures.
And I'll just tell you, the 70s were a great year for hair.
If you go back there, he really does have pictures. You'd be scarred for life.
Yeah.
Donnie Gay used to be working the hair now, I'm telling you.
I just want to say one thing about the 70s. If you remember the 70s, you didn't have very much fun.
Yeah, I almost got killed one time, and my life passed before my eyes, and I was like, dude, did I have a good time in 1985?
The 80s were just trying to keep up, and praise God you saved us. Thank you. Okay, Thursday, Friday,
Saturday next week.
Big deal. There's a question on here that I'd like to get to if you all want to talk about it a little later.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you about change in rodeo. Okay, Boyd Gaming. BoydGaming.com, Boyd Gaming Events. Boyd Gaming /NFR, Boyd Gaming. Y'all need to understand something, that this outfit called Boyd Gaming, that we are also blessed to be a part of this family, is bigger than life. And those of us that are, well, I got it on my back too, those of us that are blessed to be a part of this team and be a part of this family are finding out that they are not afraid to reach out, think outside the box, and spend some money to brand an event this year for the first time, the inaugural event, right here in the Orleans Arena, 2 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, we're talking about $250,000, going to change hands. Here's the deal. One of the big questions is, oh my God, what is the PRCA going to say? What is Las Vegas Events going to say? You're coming in here and producing an all-new kind of rodeo right in the middle of the Wrangler NFR. Yes, we are. But it's not rodeo. It's a contest. It's a contest where every one of you, that when you get there, you're going to be able to have an app and get to play with it. The PRCA said, go for it. They don't enter, even though we're using the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th person in all of the events, including the ladies in the barrel race, and then 4 invitees. If you've seen our big posters, Cody Ole, Fred Whitfield, Joe Beaver. This is an opportunity to put on probably the fastest, most powerful event, and it's going to be big time because my friend and our brother, Roger Mooney, and I get to announce it. The music's going to be loud. It's going to be big. The lights are going to be hot. The production's going to be phenomenal. Roy Lemmel, who is an awesome producer, is in charge of all of this. And we're going to give you all an opportunity to see something in contest form. 8 guys, 8 ladies. 8. Pow, 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 pow. 8 times. Jump, go to the next event. Pow, pow, pow. That's on Thursday. then on Friday. On Saturday at 2 o'clock, the best 6 out of those 8 that have came in of those first 2 events are going to go at a one-header. Pow, 6 times. The best 3 come back, $20,000 pocket change.
And here's the deal. It's really cool if the final 2 in the steer wrestling are Trevor Knowles and Luke Branquino, but Trevor and Luke are otherwise engaged at a world championship event. But if he is 4 flat and I need to be 3-9 to win the 20,000, it doesn't matter if it's me against Bob Tallman. If he's 4 flat and I'm 3-9, you dig it. Let me give you a case in point. We had one in Fort Madison, Iowa, a shootout very similar to the one that you'll get to enjoy here. We had Walt Woodard, 2-time world champion, won it when Carter was president, and won it when Bush the second was president. I mean, won 2 world championships over 4 decades, okay? And we had Nick Sartain and Rich Skelton, okay? Rich has got 1 world title. Rich, of course, has 8. In Fort Madison, they come out there and they rope, and Rich and Nick are winning it with a 5 flat. Well, here come these 2 kids from the Great Lakes Circuit. One of them is Colin Von On's brother, okay, Ryan. And the other's a kid by the name of J.W. Beck. They got to be 4-9 to win the 20 grand, okay? Nobody knows who these kids are. 2 circuit guys. But the world champions, Sartain and Skelton, have put a 5 flat on them. They come out there and they're 4-9. Crowd erupts, goes nuts. The format is so fan-friendly, so easy to understand, so engaging. And again, the only reason we're not PRCA sanctioned, because we wanted to be, is because our format wouldn't fit within the way the PRCA is constructed. We certainly asked them to endorse it. They said they couldn't, but they said, we'll bless it, and we're proud that you're going to take our 16 and 19 guys, because those are guys that got
broke.
They got Christmas coming too, and they're broke. They got Christmas coming too, and they're broke, so thanks for doing that. And then as Bob pointed out, the others are invitees. Cody Wright was in the 16 to 19 bunch. If he'd have been 20 or 22, we would have invited Cody. But either way, you got Cody Wright, you got J.W. Harris, you got Joe Beaver, you got Fred Whitfield, you got Cody O. Who doesn't want to watch them compete against one another at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I do, okay?
I sure don't want to go shopping again.
Well, and now here's the real rip to the deal. It's going to cost you $20.
What?
Oh, wait a minute.
It cost me $20 to tip the frickin' valet.
If you go on to boydgaming.com or /NFR and they got a little link there, it's a promo code. You put LV shoot.
CHUTE. Save $5.
Save $5, so it's $15 a ticket.
And the box office is open here tonight.
Breakfast is what that is. That's a steak and eggs breakfast to watch J.W. Harris, Joe Beaver, Fred Whitfield, Cody O, Cody Wright. I'm sorry, people. And never have to miss a minute of the National Finals
And
rodeo.
if you were fortunate enough to have been able to purchase a room and ticket package at a Boyd Gaming property like the Orleans, man, you can walk right over and you don't even have to get in your car.
Now,
it's going to be great.
Now, where there's going to be a naysayer, go, well, I'm going shopping. Go ahead. You're going to go shopping 7 days in a row? Okay. Shop till you drop. It's cool. Not everybody's going to go shopping every day. We're only going to have this rodeo 3 days, okay? This is an opportunity to be a part of a whole new magic moment, and it's going to last about an hour and 45 minutes.
And there may be some more information coming about this weekend's event and things to do that are really going to
make it bigger and better.
Can I hint?
You know, so I don't know all the particulars.
Can I hint?
But I'm gonna say that you need to get the app.
Yeah, get the app.
It's free.
Get the app because you'll need to have it. But let's just say, there's a horse you want to bet on in a horse race, and they say, okay, you like this horse? Mm-hmm. The odds on him are 3-1. What do you mean 3-1? So if I put $5 down and he wins first, I'm going to win 15? Mm-hmm. I'll take Cody Wright on those odds.
I think they call it interaction opportunities.
Well, I think they call it.
I'm going to gamble because you know what? The odds on Joe Beaver are probably going to be like 90-1.
I think they call it
I'm going to bet on him.
I'm betting on Joe B.
If they're 90-1, how much are you betting on you?
I'm going to bet
big
on
boy.
him.
How much? What's in that pocket?
There's 1,100 in there, and there's about 10,000 more in the room. They're going to have to take my money.
It's a
And-
neat deal. How many of you have heard about it? How many are interested in coming? How many of you think it's a good deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
think it's a great idea, and and it's not in competition with the PRCA. That's where, I mean, that's our home, and that's the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. It's the greatest rodeo in the world ever. Period. This
Bingo.
is enhancement to the whole NFR experience. I mean, so
just look,
hats
when-
off to Boyd Gaming. I mean, they've invested $500,000 for us to have more fun.
And when you come out here, you can shop, and you can go see dozens of different shows. You can go eat at a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen different places. The point is, if you're a rodeo fan, you have one opportunity to see a rodeo, and that's the Wrangler National Finals, and we want you to go. You should see it. It's a once in a lifetime experience. But if you're a rodeo fan and you're fans of the guys that we've mentioned up here, what is the problem with giving you an opportunity to see some of those same events and the same people that you grew up loving, following throughout their dominant years, whether it's Joe or Cody or a young gun, and there will be some young guns here that
Yep.
you don't know as well, but like the Ryan Von Ons and the J.W. Becks can beat the best in the world and get a chance to watch rodeo in the afternoon on the final weekend, and you get to play with them.
Here's the timeline, and it's a cool deal. For those of you that are blessed to be able to stay in this gorgeous hotel with all of us, need to know. At noon, we're going to be over there, okay? I get to work with one of my dearest friends. I call him my attorney, and Boyd and I utilize him because he's big enough to whip anybody for us when we get to mouthing off, Roger P. Mooney. And Roger Mooney is like, he melts me and turns me into somebody else, just trying to keep up with him.
When
The
you're
man's
done with Raj,
brilliant.
I got to tell you a story about him that'll crack these people up.
I got a couple too, but his wife's here and I can't tell him stories. Then we're going to go over and we're going to do this rodeo, okay? This is the Boyd Gaming Shootout. As soon as it's over, you know what we're going to do? Get ready. We're going to go to Thomas and Mack. As soon as we get done with that, the people that don't have a ticket over there are going to be in here watching Charlie Daniels. And as soon as that's over, we move Charlie and his big beard out the back, and we're going to move back in here and do our show Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
I get his autograph first.
You did?
I'm gonna.
You're gonna?
Can I tell you about a story about Roger that'll just knock you out? For those of you, and many of you do if you're a rodeo fan, you know Raj. But he's a big old Georgia huckleberry, but he's Southern bred, okay? So if he shakes your hands and he looks you in the eye and tells you that the sun's going to rise in the west and set in the east, you need to move your porch, okay? Because it's going to rise in the west and set in the east. I don't care how long it's doing it the other way. If Rod says that's how it's going to be, you can take it to the bank. We're working a rodeo in Omaha, the what is now the Wrangler Champions Challenge and the Justin Boost playoffs, and I'm there, and the sound sucks. I mean,
And it ain't got no better since you left.
well, good. But it's horrible. And I say to Raj, I say, man, you were here for a World's Toughest in April. Was this sound this bad? He goes, tell you the truth, I don't remember. I go, why don't you remember? He said, because when John Payne rode that horse to the top of that trailer, and that buffalo hooked that horse off the top of that trailer, and that horse landed on the saddle horn and his belly busted open like a watermelon, and the people started booing, I don't remember much after that. I said, booing John? John, me, you, ain't some bitch here in a cowboy hat. And it was just classic Roger. You know, just telling it like he sees it. And that big old Southern drawl. And this guy, if you've never met him, man, he'll make me look like a little guy. But he's got so much energy. To me, in my humble opinion, he belongs in this room over here. He's one of the top 3 announcers that I've ever heard or worked with. And I love him like a brother. I'd jump in front of a train for him. He's a good man.
I'd rather jump in front of a Dodge truck, I think, but train will kill you, a truck will just cripple you, so I'm going to the train with Boyd, Rod, just telling you. He's brought his beautiful wife with him. He's a rancher, he's a farmer, and he's married to a Nashville, Tennessee redheaded girl that has birthed 2 beautiful babies, a boy and a girl here. They're in the back room.
Let's not talk about the first one. It took him twice to get it right, but
Yeah.
he did strike gold.
We tried to tell him, you remember? It was in your home arena. Anyway, I'm following his wife up these stairs today because we're doing our Boyd Gaming thing over at the Cowboy Christmas, and I'm watching her go up there and Roger's watching me go up, and I pointed at her butt, and I said, Roger, I had one just like that. And he said, what? I said, a waistline. I was 13 years old. That's how good she looks. Okay, so any of the rest of it. You going to mess with this deal?
No, I'm not, because this deal that we're going to talk about, we can't do it in 10 minutes. But I do want to do it.
Are y'all in a hurry?
One of these nights. I do want to do it one of these nights. But I want to make sure that the box office is going to be open for the shootout
right
tickets.
Out here.
It's open tonight.
Right out here.
Yes, LV Shoot, and you can get $5 off.
And there's not a bad seat in the house. I don't care where you come. It's the greatest horse show in the world.
It's a great arena. Yep.
It's phenomenal.
So we hope everybody participates in that. We thank you for participating with us here tonight. Would you give all of these gentlemen a hand here? They are the best at what they absolutely do here on National Finals tonight. I want to tell you we have a lot of prizes to give away, and we're going to do that as soon as we officially close this show. Stay where you're at. We'll give away the prizes right after this. Thank you for coming to National Finals tonight. Thanks for being here. Gentlemen, roll those credits.
Thank you for watching and attending the show. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of National Finals Tonight Show at the Orleans, where all the Cowboys go after the rodeo. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Get your tickets to the Cinch Boyd Gaming Shootout Rodeo, December 10th, 11th, and 12th, right next door. Prices start at $20 for the new way to rodeo. Head to the Buck and Ball Saloon for live music and dancing, beer and drink specials, and best of all, no cover charge. We're going to dance and party till the cows come home at the Buck and Ball.